For the last 15 years, phone companies have trained you to accept one rule. You don't own your phone, you rent it. You upgrade every 2 years, your battery dies, your bill never does. But what happens when a company that doesn't need your monthly payments builds a phone? A company with its own satellites, its own batteries, its own AI. If Tesla's phone is real, it doesn't compete with the iPhone. It destroys the business model behind it, and that's why this matters. Here's a number most Americans never stop to think about. $1,800. That's what the average person pays every single year just to stay connected. Phone bills, internet fees, data overcharges. Over 10 years, that's $18,000 gone. Not on travel, not on food, not on memories, just to answer calls and check email. Now here's the uncomfortable question. What if all of that disappears? What if a company known for electric cars, reusable rockets, satellites covering the entire planet, and AI that drives itself decided to build a phone? Not to sell you a new one every year, but to eliminate your phone bill forever. This isn't clickbait, and even though Elon Musk recently told Joe Rogan that he doesn't want to build a phone, the infrastructure he's building tells a very different story. Because when you step back and look at batteries, satellites, AI, and vertical manufacturing, you start to see how a phone could emerge almost accidentally as a consequence of everything else Tesla is already doing. Let's be honest, the smartphone industry is quietly becoming more expensive, more fragile, and less innovative at the same time. Every year, we see marginal upgrades, slightly faster chips, slightly better cameras, and dramatically higher prices. This isn't random. According to industry data from Counterpoint Research and IDC, we're entering a period analysts now call AI inflation. As companies push AI features into phones, average selling prices are rising sharply. In the United States, the average smartphone price has already crossed $800, is approaching $900, and is projected to push close to $1,000 within the next year. Not because users asked for it, but because higher-end models are more profitable. And yet, despite these prices, the experience hasn't fundamentally improved. Batteries still degrade in 2 years, devices still shatter from small drops, and even after paying over $1,000 for a phone, the monthly bills never stop. Carrier plans, data fees, cloud subscriptions, insurance. The phone isn't the product anymore. You are. This is where Tesla's position becomes interesting. Tesla doesn't need to profit from phones. Its revenue comes from electric vehicles, grid-scale energy storage, satellite internet, and artificial intelligence. A phone, in Tesla's ecosystem, wouldn't be a standalone product. It would be a gateway, a control surface for everything else Tesla already sells. Your car, your home energy system, your internet connection, eventually even AI-driven robotics. And unlike Apple or Samsung, Tesla builds vertically. Batteries, software, hardware, materials, manufacturing. That matters because it removes the layers of markup that inflate consumer electronics pricing. A device that costs over $1,000 inside the traditional smartphone ecosystem could exist at a radically different price point if it's not designed to extract recurring revenue from the user. The most disruptive piece of this puzzle is connectivity. Starlink already exists. Direct-to-cell satellite coverage is already operational. Emergency services use it today. This is not theoretical technology. A phone that can connect directly to low Earth orbit satellites reduces reliance on carriers entirely. No towers, no contracts, no dead zones. Rural highways, remote towns, power outages, natural disasters, connectivity persists where traditional networks fail. That doesn't mean unlimited high-speed data everywhere. Satellite connectivity has physical limits. Dense buildings, underground spaces, and urban cores still rely on Wi-Fi or terrestrial networks, but reliable calls, messages, navigation, and emergency access without a monthly bill fundamentally changes the economics of owning a phone. Over a 10-year span, the math becomes hard to ignore. Traditional smartphones combined with carrier plans can cost close to $18,000. A device paired with satellite connectivity and minimal recurring fees collapses that number dramatically. This isn't about beating the iPhone on specs. It's about breaking the billing model the industry depends on. Battery technology is where expectations need to be handled carefully. While the consumer market is still dominated by lithium-ion cells, Tesla has spent years researching alternative chemistries. Aluminum-ion batteries, while still experimental and not ready for mass production, represent a direction where higher cycle life, lower heat, and longer-term durability could eventually redefine mobile devices. The key point isn't that this technology is guaranteed, it's that Tesla is one of the few companies with the labs, capital, and incentive to pursue it seriously. If a phone is meant to last 5 to 7 years instead of 2 or 3, everything changes. Upgrade cycles slow, costs drop, planned obsolescence stops being profitable. That philosophy extends to design. Instead of chasing ultra-thin aesthetics optimized for marketing photos, this approach prioritizes durability and usability. Matte finishes instead of slippery glass, frames that resist dents instead of shattering, screens bright enough to read outdoors, devices built to survive daily life, not just look good on launch day. Software is the biggest risk and the biggest opportunity. A new operating system means fewer apps and fewer conveniences early on, but it also means fewer trackers, fewer dark patterns, and less data extraction. A system designed around essential functionality, privacy, and on-device AI, rather than ad-driven ecosystems, fundamentally changes the user relationship with the device. This is where realism matters. This kind of phone wouldn't be for everyone. Deep Apple or Google ecosystem users would face friction. App availability would be limited. First-generation hardware always carries risk. Support infrastructure wouldn't match Apple's overnight. But this conversation isn't really about whether a Tesla phone would replace an iPhone. It's about whether the idea exposes how much the current system costs consumers over time, financially, and structurally. One final warning is necessary. There is no official Tesla phone announcement. Any website claiming to sell one today is fake. No pre-orders are legitimate. When and if Tesla ever makes a move, it will be impossible to miss. The real disruption here isn't a device. It's the question being asked. Why do we still pay forever just to stay connected? And what happens if someone finally builds a product that doesn't need that system to survive? That's the conversation worth having,